Do we say West Virginian?
Yeah, West Virginia.
West Virginian,
You know,
okay.
and you also know Appalachia. Good job. Not Appalachia. So like, good job.
This is really embarrassing. So I've tried it both ways. I'm from Southern Indiana, and so before I would say like, oh yeah, Appalachian, and then somebody would say something like, no, that's wrong. So I like YouTubed the pronunciation just to make sure. You guys, it's Nikki. Welcome to the Real Country Podcast. I am so seriously excited about our guest today. So we have a dynamic singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist with a sound steeped in the rich tradition of Appalachian roots from West Virginia. His talent with the fiddle built him a loyal fan base of over 1.5 million fans and followers. It is, of course, Mr. Philip Bowen.
Hello.
Hello. How
Thanks
are
for having
you?
me on. I'm good. I'm good.
So stoked that you're here. Thank you for being here. It's so funny because I haven't been at this for like a super long time, maybe a couple years.
Yeah.
And I will never forget this, but it's probably a couple years ago now. Either you or your team was the first artist ever to send me something.
Oh man, that's the coolest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that. Like it was just a t-shirt and a CD and it was just like,
Yes. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
thank you for that.
Heck yeah, no problem. No problem.
So what brings you to good old Nashville these days?
You know, I'm here. I don't live in Nashville. So like by nature of what I do for a living, you got to be here sometimes. And so I come down maybe once a month, once every other month to like work. So I'm not here for shows this week. I just had a week full of like writing and working, some studio stuff, media stuff, all this kind of stuff, you know, so
So you know people in town that you do like co-writes with and then you're recording. So we're doing an hour.
Yeah, I was finished, and then sometimes I do a lot of work on other people's stuff too.
Right. Okay. So we're in sessions.
Yeah. So like I did a couple sessions for some folks, and then co-writing and all that kind of fun stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, since we're already on that topic, let's get right into the music because I was telling him this earlier. I have a million questions, so let's get them all down. Today is July 11th, and last night you had a new single out. So this is Blue as Water.
Yep.
Okay. And this is so he's also from West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Charles Wesley Godwin.
Another West Virginia homie, for sure. Yeah.
Do we say West Virginian?
West Virginia.
West Virginian.
You know,
okay.
And you also know Appalachia. Good job. Not Appalachia. So like, good job.
This is really embarrassing. So I've tried it both ways. I'm from Southern Indiana, and so before I would say like, oh yeah, Appalachian, and then somebody would say something like, no, that's wrong. So I like YouTubed the pronunciation just to make sure that like.
We always tell people like, think of it as like I want to throw an Appalachia.
An Appalachia.
And that's like that's the way you say it.
That's so easy.
At least where I'm from, that's how we say it. I never hear anybody say Appalachia.
An Appalachia.
Yeah, I'm from Appalachia.
Somebody said it was like a north versus like southwest pronunciation. I don't know how true that is, but
yeah, I mean, I think the people that say Appalachia are either like up in the Northeast or they're not from there.
Sure.
But if you go to the region, you'll never hear anybody say it like that way. So
I gotcha. Well, I'm from the Louisville area, so it's really funny hearing people that don't live in Louisville try to say Louisville. It's like Louisville.
Yeah.
That's how I know that you are not from the area. Well, talk to me a little bit about the single. So I know I listened to it on the way here. It's a really hard subject matter. So can I guess talk through, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I'm much better at talking about it now, but like it's a very heavy subject matter, obviously. And I know that it's not really talked about a lot, but that a lot of people go through this.
Sure.
So we had like a really tough loss in our family, like several years ago, like in between kids, like 2 and 3,
Okay.
And it was like, very late in the game, a difficult loss. And so, I'm a pretty positive person, and I had not experienced a lot of this, like just like really deep kind of like depression where you're almost like in a tailspin. Like you're almost like, you lose a lot of your will to do almost anything. And it's like this grief that is like hanging on all the time.
Yeah.
And so I've never been great at like talking and communicating when I'm going through something really tough, but like that's where I think music has legitimately saved my life, where I'm able to work through that with music a lot.
Gotcha.
And so I had started writing this song a million times and never felt like it was right. And then I finished it last fall, and I started playing it out a little bit just at shows. And I legitimately cannot believe the amount of people that would wait around or send me stuff afterwards to tell me that they had been through something similar.
Wow. Yeah.
And
they
so
resonate with your story.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a very cool thing about music, like you were saying. It allows you to tell that story in a way that's like maybe verbalizing it in conversation is not as easy as just like putting it, in a song, and then people can relate and they can feel, motivation from it, and like it saves them, and, other people out there going through the same thing. So that's great. It's a really beautiful song.
Thank you
and
very
you have
much.
Charles on there with you. Did he go through something similar? Or?
Yeah, no, I knew like that was, so I originally had set him, we worked together a bunch in our lives. I saw him together on my first record, and he's just been a really great friend in this business, especially. But so him and his wife had gone through something similar.
Okay.
And so I was just like, oh man, I just finished this demo. Like, I hope it's helpful for you. Like, I know it, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we started kicking it back and forth. And then as we started the process of like recording it, I just kept, hearing him. I thought that'd be really impactful. So yeah, it just worked out. It made really good sense to do it together.
Yeah.
And so to kind of have both voices on it, and I'm so thrilled with how it's always great to work with, I respect him as an artist so much, even, as much as I do as a friend. But it's even better in this business when you get to work with a friend. Like that's the best. Like, not only is it great, but like you work with somebody that you may know and respect. So it turned out really well.
Well, that's great. Well, I love it. It is beautiful. And I'm sorry that you went through that, but and glad that you're kind of coming out on the other side and seeing a positive light.
Yeah.
Well, great. So along with that, and then you recently just had a run with Oliver Anthony. Mm-hmm. So how'd that go? Man, he kind of goes crazy.
Yeah. Like, so we're kind of from the same neck of the woods. Like he's a Virginian, I'm a West Virginian, but we've been talking about doing something together for like over a year.
Yeah.
So we both know each other through Draven, who runs Radio WV. Yep. How we're together on some stuff. And so it just was like a situation where they reached out to me like maybe a couple weeks before this run. They're like, hey, do you want to come just play with us for a couple in West Virginia? I was like, let's do it. So
nice.
It was fun to make it happen. It was a great experience, just doing those, especially in my home state.
Yeah.
I love doing anything I can around that area. So it was just really awesome. Like it was a pleasure to play with those guys and get to hang out in that sense. And the festival we did in Lewisburg, like I had a lot of other good music friends there too. Like Old 60 was there. Got to hang out with those guys and stuff like that. So it's fun. It's fun.
I bet it's fun. It sounds fun. It would be so cool to be out on the road, like playing music, making friends.
It's the best.
Like,
it's the best.
Seeing people that maybe you've seen before you're in the industry and being like, you know what, I was a fan now.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, like it's a really cool industry for that. Like when you get to just connect with people in that way. So that's sweet.
I love it. And then big news. Okay, first headlining tour coming up this year. Mm-hmm. Heck yeah! Talk about that.
So yeah, I mean, I had wanted to do like a sustained run like this for a long time. Okay. So I've obviously done shows before, but like the last like year, especially, and even before that, it was like a lot of like little, 1, 2, maybe I do like a random open here or there, and it wasn't anything with like a nice run behind it. And so this is the first time we're doing that. I'm very excited for it. So we're starting in Knoxville, going all the way up to Pittsburgh.
Nice.
Like August is gonna be crazy.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, and then we get to do some awesome like wonderful supports that I'm very honored to be a part of, like starting at the end of August and just kind of rolling through. So
I saw the Dwight Yoakam support. That's awesome.
I know. That's like very surreal. Like I'm really honored to not just like one, but have like 6 with them. So I'm very excited for that. And then we also just announced one recently. We're doing at least one with Whiskey Myers in Toledo. So that's going to be at the end of my run in August. So we'll open for Whiskey Myers, and then we'll do a bunch with Dwight.
Powerful. I love that. Well, you're obviously not busy at all, right?
No, not busy at all. Not busy at all. So, but I'm very, it's a blessing to be able to do what you want to do in this industry, and like be like consistently working is always a great thing. So
I love it. Well, congrats. It's definitely much deserved. And to the Mavericks on the Dwight.
Yes.
When I was young, my mom was obsessed with the Mavericks. So I'm like 6, 7 years old. Like, listen, here comes my play. Like,
I know. I was giddy when I'm like, Dwight Yoakam, this is crazy. The Mavericks, this is nuts. I was very excited. As a music fan.
Yeah.
To even get to be there as a part of anything they're doing is really an honor. So I'm excited for it.
That's great. Well, let's go there. Who are some of your musical inspirations?
Oh, lots. I've always loved, of course, like there's songwriters I truly love, like, John Prine, John Denver. I've always loved Randy Newman as a songwriter. Okay. Like I love the way he writes.
Yeah.
But like lots of that kind of like old country, old folky stuff I really love.
Sure. And
then kind of just more recently, like that's a very surreal part about this journey for me is like when you find yourself working with an artist that you like listen to or like you really enjoy. Like I'm good buddies with the 49 Winchester guys. I love their stuff.
Nice.
And then to play with them and to open for them is always a treat. And it's whatever you call our genre. I don't know what you would even say. Like this Americana, folky, country,
Americana folk,
whatever you want to call it.
A lot, yeah.
Well, I have found that on the artist side, especially, it's just been a really wonderful community for
It's great.
All the good hangs and the working together on stuff. So
heck yeah. I've heard a lot that it's a very collaborative genre. Everybody is like, you know, uplifting fans of each other.
That's great.
It's community driven, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so born and raised West Virginia.
Yep.
Very true to your roots.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about how you sort of use where you came from to meld those stories into your music.
Yeah, that's a good question. You know, there's such a rich history and culture of storytelling in Appalachia.
Yeah.
Like I feel like our stories are kind of like our currency.
Yeah.
And so from the time you're little, you know, anything we're doing, like even if it's like a birthday party or just a backyard hangout, Christmas, whatever, people are just, music's involved. You know, there's just instruments and music and songs. And I think that's why so much good music comes from there.
Sure.
Like even like, you know, like a wonderful artist who I love, like Sierra Farrell grew up 30 minutes from me in Charleston, West Virginia. You know, Chuck's from there.
Yeah.
John R. Miller's from there. Like, and then if you look at the region, like Tyler and
there's incredible music coming out of that area.
From such a small population area, it's insane. And I think, so for me, I think being immersed in that culture from like the time I was real young is, I just have always loved that kind of deep storytelling music. And so that's kind of where I landed. I just love telling good stories.
Yeah,
you know?
That's great. Definitely recognize that it is very rooted in storytelling, and you can kind of like parallel storytelling with authenticity. And many people, I believe, these days are kind of like yearning for the authenticity in this genre of music. So it's really
yes, I play the instrument. Like I think it's a big calling card of our genre specifically.
Yeah.
Like you have, as my grandpa would have said, you got a heavy hand on that paper.
Right.
Like you wrote the song, or you have a hand in the song.
Yeah.
That's super important. I know for all the artists in our space, like I wrote this, like, you know, and I'm playing it, not that there's, you know what I'm saying? It's just like that authenticity part of it is such, it really pairs nicely with what we're doing.
Experienced it. Right?
Absolutely. You've lived it. You lived it. That's right. Yeah.
You have like a deeper, when you experience something, you can write from such a deeper place and not kind of just like, I don't want to say you're playing country, but if you write about something you haven't lived or you don't know, I feel like people can tell, you know, in a way.
How can you write about the struggles of these like hardworking blue collar people that are just wonderful people? If you haven't lived there, and if you haven't done those things or have family that's been down in those coal mines or working those tobacco flats and all this stuff, like how can you even write about it?
Yeah.
So like I was telling somebody last week when I was in West Virginia, you know, like I was kind of boohooing about, oh, I'm a little busy, it's crazy, I'm getting tired, but there's people down there paving roads and, you know, cutting coal and all this stuff. Like how can I complain?
Working at mines, not seeing the sun for hours and hours.
And you get so much support. It's just a real blessing. I get so much support from my home state and that region. It's just the absolute greatest. So
that's wonderful. Yeah, that's one of the coal mining too. That's something like, so your debut album is Okinawa?
So we with the accent we just say Okinawa.
Okinawa. Okay.
Yeah, Kanawha. Just be lazy on that W. Yeah.
Kind of like the old thing. Like, okay, Okinawa. So you had Vampire in Appalachia, and Josiah was on that one, and that's kind of a story about It's about like the extraction economy. Basically the hard, like, and then also like obviously the opioid epidemic has been extra hard on our region, like, you know, so that was kind of that story there. Yeah. Oh gosh, and I'm from Southern Indiana, and so there's a big meth problem there, and people are just like, not a lot of jobs. Many people are out of work. It's just that's kind of what they turn to, you know, which is unfortunate. But, you know, you're telling that story and making people aware of what's going on, which is really neat. So talk to me about how this all started for you. When did you recognize you had an affinity for music, for being an instrumentalist? Like, when was that? Well, I mean, I've been playing the fiddle since I was 4. So that's kind of like my first love. That's kind of my first love music-wise. Like I said, I've always really enjoyed and been affected by like really great storytelling, that style of music. And so, I mean, I did the college band thing like a lot of people, and I really chickened out of doing music for my job. Like I at the time, honestly, I didn't even know how to go about it. Like, like what do? You just go to Nashville and just start? So like I had a couple of friends that graduated ahead of me that had done the whole we're moving to Nashville thing, and it was like going terrible for them. And so I was like, I had such a fear of being a starving artist, and just like not knowing what to do. So I just kind of did it for fun as a hobby. I went to grad school, got my MBA, which ended up helping me a lot. But then I worked in the corporate world, just in digital marketing, in a very great, steady corporate job that I was growing in, but I was, as much as it was providing for me, I was not happy in it. And I just always had this bugging thing, like I was meant to do music. And so I just kind of decided right before COVID, I really am going to give this a good try before I die. Like I have to at least try. Good for you. So that's kind of how it all started. The rest was history, right? That's it. That's exactly it. Like I just can't,
I kind of use the fiddle to get people introduced into my little music world.
Yeah.
And then I would be like, oh, and I also write and I also do this. And so, as rewarding as the fiddle stuff was, like what really changed my life was when people started recognizing what I was writing and what I was doing as an artist. That can be the life-changing thing. So
as a songwriter, as like a more like well-rounded, it's not just a fiddle. There's also,
Yes.
And we were talking about this before. I'd love to dive in because I find it fascinating being in the digital marketing world and what you've done with social media. Just like watching that explosion has been incredible. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And it feels like too, you understand and what you were saying with using the fiddle to like get people into your world and kind of build that fan base audience-wise, volume-wise, and then kind of convert them, for lack of a better term, into like a fan. And so they, listen to your own music. What can other artists like learn from that? If you could summarize kind of like how you did what you did.
I think that I try to take a lot of lessons from working my corporate job in the sense of like, it's very hard to stand out in this business. Like there's it's like a low barrier to entry to just, you can pick up a guitar and sing a song into the camera. It's hard to stand out doing that.
Yeah.
People do it, but it's hard. And so I was like, well, what do I do that can be just a little different? So that was my whole MO from the beginning, was like, I just need to get, build an identity around myself in like terms of like, let's just get people on this journey. And people...
This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Modern West Media, the marketing and paid advertising growth partner for business owners who are more outlaw, the ones who are doing things their own way. They help high-ticket coaches, consultants, service providers, and yes, brands scale faster with paid ads, killer creative, and a strategy built to help you stand out and get to that $100,000 a month mark. They don't just run campaigns. They become your partner. So if you've got a $5,000 plus offer and you're ready to pour gas on that fire, head to modernwestmedia.com where they help you win the Wild West of marketing.
The thing is that seems scary is that people love to be able to say that they were in on the ground floor with you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I knew you when you were just doing blah.
You just started this.
And they want to, the thing is like people want to go on the journey with you.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite thing. Somebody comes to a show like, oh man, I saw you doing this in 2021. Like that's crazy. Like, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
And I think that you have to just own your story. Stay 100% authentic to exactly who you are. Nobody can do you but you. Right. So just ride that wave. And it's hard to do, but you just have to chip away at it. Like there's no easy, like sometimes I'll get asked like if I feel lucky and I'll be like, well, I don't really like use the L word because I spent so many hundreds and thousands of hours
so hard,
trying to like chip away. I feel fortunate that some things have got attention or people above you on the ladder reach down and put you forward for something, but it's all just like networking and connections and just, the quantity of the grind. Just get after it.
Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. I mean, it's just been so cool. And you're kind of doing like what a lot of, I guess, brands are doing these days. You're building a brand in public. And I feel like you did that in real time. Like you said, you're taking people with you.
Yeah.
They saw it on the ground floor, right? Which you did very well. So how did you was that the first sort of like creative concept that you tested where you just put fiddle over some of the popular songs? Or how did you figure out like your style there?
Yeah, I kind of like leaned into it a little bit because at first I was just like, well, I bet people would enjoy this. So I just would do these like little live streams because everybody was stuck at home. And I'd be like, I'll just play whatever you want on the fiddle. I'll play whatever you want. And like, I've always, like, I experienced the fiddle a little different. Like I truly see the music like colors.
Yeah.
So like that's why I close my eyes so I can see it clearly. Like, because like I can hear a song I've never heard before. It just takes 2 seconds. I'm there. I can have a conversation with the song is how I would describe it.
Wow.
So cool. Like maybe you've never heard the fiddle with like Gangster's Paradise. I can do that. And then I would get this audience as big as I could get it. And I'd say, hey, let me play a couple of things I've written. And then after, I'm not kidding, like after I would do maybe 10 to 15 hours of live shows a week from my house.
Oh, wow.
And after every single show, every person that sent a tip was a new follow. They get a message from me. Thank you so much. Here's how you can find my stuff. Here's the next thing I'm doing. And I'm telling you, this was like, cool. I got 15 new followers today. I went from 100 to 115. This is truly how it was.
Yeah.
And so sometimes people will see these bigger numbers and they're like, oh, that's crazy, man. Like, was it from one viral video? I mean, I would have things go viral sometimes, but most of that work was in that. I mean, it was very difficult on the burnout side of it, working full time and then doing that and then spending all these hours following up. But it pays, as I say in marketing, those kind of things have a long tail.
Long tail residual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
100%.
It's just the work of like meeting people where they are and letting them know like it truly means the world to me.
Sure.
No one used to ever care. So if 5 people come to a show or 500, I'll play the devil out of that show. I'm at the table every show, no matter what. Come out until I get pulled away, I'm there with you because it does mean the world to me. This was a dead dream for me for a long time. And I'm not just saying this, like I'll go to places and be playing and like it's overwhelming to me to think about like, oh, you got tickets and you got parking and childcare and you're here. I'll sing what you want me to sing. Like I'm so thrilled by that. Like it just seemed impossible. So you'll never find an artist that it means more to that you show up than me. I promise you that. Like it just is my favorite thing. So.
Yeah, very grateful. I can tell, and it's an inspiration to a lot, I'm sure. And just like figuring out even the small things, like you're saying, it is the small things that go such a long way. Like treating followers or fans like clients. Like the first 5-10 people who show interest in you. You give them, hey, here's what I'm doing. Now they know what's up. They can word of mouth spreads like wildfire. They can tell.
Somebody wrote a nice thing about me when nobody used to ever care. I'm sending them a T-shirt. It's like exactly what we're talking about. Yeah. Like I used to fight tooth and nail to just have one person, one like industry person, just listen to the song. Give me one chance. So I made a list of every single account that had ever posted about me. And when I have my album come out, I'm sending T-shirts and CDs. And I stayed up till 4 a.m. one night, like packing things. You know what I'm saying? It's exactly like it's just it has to mean that if you want to do this for real, you got to have that dog in you in that way to be like, I'm fighting for every inch I get. And then you'll get some big wins here and there. But like you really, if you're not ready to do that, it does take that. It really does to carve it out for yourself.
Sure. I think, and too, I don't know how you feel about this, but sometimes social media has like almost made it seem like it is less effort than what it really is. For like maybe some people who had 1 or 2 videos go viral, not that's been at it for, put as much work in it as you, but just like had 1 or 2 go super viral. And I'm like, okay, that's all it takes. And other people do 2 or 3 and they're like, not discouraged. They're like, oh shoot, like it didn't work. So I'm just going to stop, It's not always, it's not always going to be,
It's definitely not always like that. And it does seem like sometimes in our industry, oh, I saw Nikki and now she's signed and now she has a label deal and now she's touring nationally. That's really not how it happens. It may a few times, but that's like winning the lottery without buying a ticket, honestly. Sure. The odds are that small. Yeah. So you do have to make your own, like it's cool if that happens, great. Yeah. But you can't bank on that happening.
Well, odds are too with those people, I think, and this is just an opinion. I'm sure people will hate me for this, but there's not a lot of longevity in those types of acts. They're signed in 1 or 2 videos and they're not able to play live. They're not able to draw crowds, and it's just maybe like a very short fleeting thing, and you haven't built longevity into your career and your fan base. And
or if you're not, maybe if you're trying to be a songwriter and you're not writing like it's your job. Sure. And let's say you've written 1 or 2 things, one happens to catch fire, and it's like, now what? If you haven't written a lot and you don't have like a deep well of that in you, that's why you see sometimes like somebody will have something even original kind of spark, and then it's like, well, what else? Oh my God, like it's terrifying,
Yeah, I went, because I do a lot of research before talking to people. I went back last night and watched through your Millie playlist on TikTok. They're the ones that had like over 1 million.
Yes.
And then you just mentioned like when you hear music, you see colors. I think there's a term for that. But when I hear some stuff, like I get chills, like physically get like my hair on my arm stand up. I get chills to hear. And some of the stuff that you've done with the fiddle overlaying some of those songs, like of course, Country Road, Something in the Orange, the Downpour one, like God, just
that
like,
person playing the piano.
Gosh, yeah. Absolute chills. That's so cool.
It's because the fiddle is the closest instrument sonically to the human voice. Okay. And so that's why when you're watching a movie or something and you hear that like sad, and it just goes right, that's why.
It's so resonant.
Yeah, that's
why. That is wild. So, and you talked about like doing this while also you had a job. I'm sure that wasn't always super smooth. Is there a certain time where like you were kind of like, oh my gosh, this is almost too much?
Yeah, I mean, I have a very vivid memory of like towards the end of 2022, and I had some stuff popping. I had actually recorded all of my first record, and we were sitting at the dinner table, and I have 3 like young kids, and my wife was just like, you just don't seem like you're having fun with this at all. And I'm like, honestly, like I'm not. Like I was in a bad place. And I was like to the point where I was like I was gonna just kind of like, I already even paid for the whole album. I was just like, you know what? I just think this is probably too much. Yeah. And I was not in a great place. Oh. And I was like, okay, I just think I'll go home for the holidays and we'll just like, I'll just tell everybody, hey, listen, this was really fun, but I don't think it's sustainable for me to keep doing this. Yeah. And then on December 27th, I got a call from Mountain Stage. And that's one of those things that really changed my life.
Mountain Stage.
Mountain Stage.
The MP.
It's like on every NPR station in the country. And it's hosted in West Virginia, which is like, was legitimately one of the coolest things I still ever done. It was a dream come true.
Yeah.
And they called me to do it. And I was like, of course, like it gave me new life. But I was in such a bad spot where like I had done a stop order on all my merch and everything, where like I was the only artist at Mountain Stage in that January that didn't have anything to sell, but it was still like a wonderful moment for me. But I had to like realize, okay, I probably need some boundaries here. Like I can't burn on both ends all the time.
Right.
So I had to, at some point I got to take the leap and start pulling away from this very nice security blanket, that's really scary.
That's the tough part.
I got this great job with great insurance. I got a family. I got people counting on me to pay the bills. And so just, I feel very blessed because it definitely starts to be a leap of faith. Like I pulled away from that and I finally cut the cord on all of it.
Yeah.
About a year after that, like fully cut the cord, and it was terrifying.
Ooh, yeah.
And you're like, man, I hope people still want to listen. I hope I can still do these things that I'm doing. And here we go. So it's just...
You're doing it, and he's doing it. That's also very inspirational to people who still kind of feel like they need to hold on to I call them golden handcuffs sometimes. Like you have that security. It gives me goosebumps because I think back to when I did that, and I was not smart when I did. I like totally suicided myself into like jumping in onto the airship. I had no other, I had no safety blanket, no backup. And it was a tough couple of years. But you just got to keep at it, you're doing. And
you do. I mean, there was times I was like wrapping up a Teams call. I did this backstage at 3rd and Lindsay before I went and opened for Josiah, like up to like the minute.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like I burned through my vacation a million times over, everything I could think of, why I needed to be out. It's stressful, go out there, try to be the artist, get in that mode, then like be worried about, it's just hard. And then, but it was like such a, like you said, golden handcuffs, it's just so much stable security.
Right.
And then, but I had to give myself fully to this and the craft.
Yeah. Faith.
Which is what it absolutely is. And I, that's what I was saying. Like, I'm like, man, you're getting a ticket, you're coming out.
Right.
You're changing my life. Yeah. And you need people to believe in you in that way.
100%.
So, it's like on a day like today where like I have a song that's like getting attention and I'm like, attention I didn't have to, beg for. Like I'm very thankful. I really am, because it's some like dark times when you're starting out, you're like, I don't know, man, I don't know.
Yeah, but you planted the seeds. Like that's kind of like you planted the seeds, and now you're like doing the harvest.
Start to see those little sprouts. This is great. Let's go. Let's get it.
For those who don't know what Teams is, so you're on like a group meeting,
like a Slack or like a work call, basically like a virtual work call.
Right before you got on stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was, and like Josiah popped backstage. He's truly one of my best friends in music. We've become such good buddies. Yeah. And he's like, man, what are you doing? I was like, man, I had to work today, though, bro. Yeah. And he's like, it just was so funny, And he's like, I would have never. And Charles, I talked to him recently, and when we were working on this song, and I was like, man, like up until XYZ day, I was still doing this. He's like, what? Like when you were doing that with me, you were still doing this? I was like, yes. And he's like, man, like that's crazy. I was like, I know.
He would have known. You balanced it really well. It was like you showed up still, like you were very much fully present.
Trying, yeah. Trying.
That's great. I remember those 3 days. I tried so hard to get a ticket to one of those 3 dates with Josiah, but they sold out.
Sold them out.
So fast.
3 in a row. And then my first ever Nashville headliner was like the next month. Like, so we did like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And my first ever little Nashville headliner was that Sunday night.
Okay.
So it was like 4 days in a row for me.
Nice.
And then I like slept a couple hours, drove partway back, did some working in the car the next day.
Whatever.
Did the working in the car the next day, bailed on a couple things. And I was like behind the 8 ball the rest of that week because I had done this, but like it didn't matter to me because I was like, oh, I can't believe I just got to do that.
Yeah. What was your venue you headlined here?
It was like, which is one of my favorites still, like OG Basement.
OG Basement.
And I was so nervous. I was like, please don't even send me ticket counts. If it's 5 people, it's 5 people.
Yeah.
And that was a really special night because so many of my, artist friends, like they just showed up and like people showed up. It was full and I could not believe it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is nuts. Let's go.
For people also who don't know OG Basement, like 5 people in OG Basement, it still feels like.
It still feels like a lot. Like I think it's like max maybe 200. And if it's that, it's like squeezed.
It's very squeezed.
Wall to wall. So I'll take those. Those are my favorite size venues though, true. Like that 200-300 cap is my favorite.
And so many people have played there. It's crazy. Like it's kind of an unassuming place.
I'm doing it again in August. I'm doing it again. Like
that's a location for artists.
I love it. I'm like, let's do it.
There.
Please come.
100%.
Yeah, it's like we'll do Knoxville first and then Nashville.
Nice.
And I really wanted to do that one because I love it and it's cool that I'm coming back. I just love that.
Yeah. Is that during Americana Fest or is it separate?
No, so I was going to do Americana Fest, but I got the Dwight stuff.
Right.
So,
okay.
So Mr. Yoakum invited us out. So like, I won't be at Americana Fest because I'll be on the road with him.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to be at that. I do love OG Basement. It's like one of the coolest places.
It's my favorite. Yeah.
And so what prompted you to want to do AGT?
Oh man. Well, the first year they asked me to, I said no. I was like, I wasn't sure about it.
Okay. So they asked you to.
They recruited me on, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, which is like, it's a nice, that way you don't have to go wait at the convention centers all day and like just hope for the best.
In the lines, yeah.
I was very fortunate in that. But they had, that same week I got asked to do the Bluebird the first time.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and it's not like when they ask you to do the Bluebird, they're like, hey, if you can't make it, like, it's like, can you come or not?
Yeah.
Especially your first one. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm not saying no to this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no to this. So I was so excited for that. And I was just not sure about AGT. The next few months later, it came back around and they're like, we think this would be good for you. So I actually went out there with the fiddle and the guitar for my, like the filmed audition.
Okay.
And then I felt like everybody and their mother in this audition room was going to sing. And I was like, I don't see any other fiddles around here.
Yeah.
So that's why I went like 100%. I'm just going to lean into this and try to stick around as long as I can, something different. And then I didn't plan it this way, but you know, I ended up getting on the season premiere of that season.
Nice.
So my first single for the record came out, like I was on NBC like on the Wednesday, and my first single came out Thursday.
Yeah. Wow.
And then the album dropped as I was out there for the big live episodes because I made it pretty far. Mm-hmm. And so it was just like, even though I wasn't even singing a note, you know, all these people the best thing about AGT is that it's outside of the genre people.
Right.
So mom and pop in whereverville watching NBC, they're looking you up, they're finding you. Oh, he does this. So it was very helpful in that way to get me exposure outside of my own, you know, little country Americana folky world.
Heck yeah.
Which was really cool for that.
That is awesome. And also that's long tail content too. Like those clips will live like forever. Yeah.
It is. Now I will say like my biggest personal thing was trying, like sometimes I've really battled to like separate myself or like distinguish the artist side of my life. Mm-hmm. Like some people only know me for the fiddle or they only know me for the artist stuff.
Gotcha.
So like, that's okay. But like when I first started doing shows and still doing shows, this is my first ever like sustained run is like, oh no, like these are my songs. I wrote them. Mm-hmm. I am doing this for real. Yeah. I don't just do the fiddle covers thing, you know? So like, that's my own like, which is okay. I'll take it with the built-in audience, you know, but like, it's just been that's been my thing this like last year plus, especially is like, how do I distinguish myself in this space? Right. And you need people to believe in you, to bring you out for stuff and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So that's how that's been
100%. But you're still, like you said, you're still doing sessions. And so you
Oh, I do. I feel like I play on everybody and their mother's records, like, which I love doing sessions. But as a family person, that helps stabilize my life. Like I do sessions and I'll do some like corporate private stuff here and there. And I'll go sit in with a buddy if they need to fill in. Yeah. Cool. Like I'm real good friends with Ian Munsick. Like last summer, he had me out for like 10 shows. Yeah. And I wasn't working those shows. So I was like, cool, I'll go play the fiddle with you. Let's do it. Yeah. Absolutely.
I love his stuff too, and the way that he incorporates fiddle into the music.
What a guy.
This is just, whew.
Love that guy.
Killing it.
Been good to me. I like it.
Bring the West to the West.
Bring the rest to the rest.
To the rest.
And Ian is a great example of like, in the best possible way. Like when you hear Ian singing, you're not hearing anybody else. Yeah. You know it's him.
Very branded, very unique.
And like, whenever I get to do stuff with a friend that is like doing things at like a high level, my MO is like, I just try to watch and learn. Yeah. Like, what is your team doing? Like, how do you guys do shows? Like, how do you do the after stuff? Like, so that's probably my old marketing brain. But like, I'm always thinking like, well, how do I learn from what you're doing? Because I also am trying to do this in tour. So how do I learn from that? Yeah. So yeah,
very much still a student.
Exactly, 100%.
Always sponging everything.
Always.
It's great.
Always, yeah.
Always be learning. That's, you know, one of the biggest things I think too people miss is like, you gotta always be learning. You gotta always be like evolving, leveling up, like figuring out what people who are working are doing.
I was talking to somebody who was like, auditioning for the band stuff for tour. And I was like, he's like, what are you doing the rest of the day? I was like, oh, like every time I come to town, I reserve half of one day at least to go do a lesson. He's like, a lesson? I was like, yeah, like I'm like literally yesterday I was doing guitar lessons most of the day because it's not my first instrument. Sure. Like I've done fiddle, I'm a fiddle player, but I go find a fiddle player I love and say, can you just show me some stuff?
Yeah, still honing in.
Every time.
Developing.
If you're gonna be a pro, like go be a pro.
Right.
You know,
master those 10,000 hours.
That's it. Like, I bet it's 10 million. but because I love music. Yeah. Like it's work, but it doesn't always feel like work in the same way. Like I don't, no disrespect to my former coworkers, but like I don't miss the corporate world at all. Like the day I deleted Outlook and Teams and Slack off my phone was the best day of my life.
That was so relieving.
It was.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Amazing.
It's different when you're doing something that you dream about and like that you have such a drive to do.
Sure.
And you have to stay grounded. Like, okay, this is not my whole life.
Yeah.
This is not, so it's just it's all balanced, but it's,
That's amazing. Yeah, a story, just like find, what you're passionate about and work at it.
Heck
and
yeah.
keep working at it and it'll pay off. Yeah, it's amazing to be able to do what you love to do and it just feels right. A lot of people out there, just what they're doing, like it's almost demoralizing because it doesn't feel right. You know?
And it's a very comparative industry. So
Sure.
it doesn't, my wife and I talk about this all the time. Like, it doesn't have to be the biggest thing in the world for it to mean something. And you definitely don't have to go out there and be playing 2,000 cap rooms to make a great living as an artist.
Right.
It is possible.
Yeah.
You find your people. I would honestly rather have 50 people at a show that are like dogs for my stuff and they
Huge
come.
fans, yeah.
That's what you need. Like, like if you're playing for 1,000 people that just don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I don't want it to come across the wrong way, but like the point of it is, it's like this crazy like balance between like contentment and still wanting more.
Sure.
So you're content for like who is showing up, and then you're always driving to grow it, and it grows how it grows. You may not be Brad Paisley or Kojo out there like doing these massive stadiums. That's okay. You can definitely find your niche and like make it work.
A niche, yeah. You're grateful, but you're still like pursuing more.
Absolutely.
But also, find your niche and what works for you. And
Otherwise, you'll just be miserable every day looking at what everybody else is doing. Like, well,
Exactly.
you gotta want it, but like you also have to be happy like in your spot.
yeah, I gotta learn that too. So you're teaching me lessons as well. I'm a very comparative person. I'm like, shoot, I did that wrong. Or
It is like that.
They're doing it better.
Like, for example, one of my biggest dreams that I haven't been able to do yet, that I'm just always working towards, is like, if I get to step in the circle and play a song I wrote, I don't even know what I would do with myself. I have dreamed about that since I did the Opry tour when I was 8 years old. So that's my big dream.
Yeah.
That one of them that I haven't got to do yet. Last year, I had 6 friends, 6 that I know well, get their Opry debuts.
Oh, wow.
6. And I would love to say that my first reaction was like, yeah, I'm so happy for you, man. But sometimes I'm like,
It's not
like,
me yet.
So yeah, I tried my best when I see a friend get something that I want. I'll try to like stop my day, send them a nice note.
Yeah.
Congrats, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. But like, but like
Inside,
I'm like always working towards something that's my big one though.
Yeah.
If I step into that circle and play a song, I just need to like be able to get through it without panicking. But that's
like totally
so
breaking
that's on
down.
my list. Always on my team list for the year. It's like Opry. We'll see if we can get there.
That's amazing. Well, that was going to be my next question with everything that you have going on, which is a ton. Like, what's your next step? What's your big dream? And look, it's going to happen.
I don't want to like speak it. I want to speak into existence, but I don't want to like jinx myself.
There you go. Okay.
But like I told my booking team the other day, I was like, listen, if they need somebody to come like sweep the floors, you let me know.
Yeah.
I'll be there. I want to but anyways, if it happens, it happens. But Opry's a big one for me. That's a big dream. There's like some venues I've always dreamed about playing. Like I'd love to play the Caverns sometime,
Ooh,
or
that's
like,
fun. Yeah.
like
Ooh,
of course,
man, the full acoustics in the Caverns, that would be wild.
like the church, like Ryman, of course.
Ryman,
I love to step on the stage and like things like that are big dreams for me. I haven't played Laurel Cove yet. That's going to happen. Like that was a big one for me. I really want to play Laurel because I love what it represents to our region.
Sure.
And what it means. And then, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing consistently. If I want to just be able to provide for my family consistently with the songs that I write and the work that I do. And I just want to keep doing that. I don't need to be having this $10 million house. I just want to be able to work and do what I love and provide.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
And it's sustainable and it's predictable, but it's happy and you're,
and
not
the Opry.
overwhelmed.
And the Opry. That's like the big one. That's for sure. That's the big one.
Listen, that's a great goal.
Yeah.
Well, with all that going on, and you said 3 kids, wife, family, when you have time, we'll look on the calendar when that is, but when you do have time, what kind of stuff do you guys like to do?
I have got I love to cook.
Yeah.
I've like, ever since I started like not like being in the corporate world, honestly, like 9 out of 10 nights I'm cooking. That's the way I can help out my wife when she's running around like, doing drop-offs and pickups. And I just try to really be present, be like, I have no desire to be gone all the time. So like when I'm home, I'm home. Like I want to be dad. I want to be, best husband I can be, involved. Like I love sports. Like I love, the Mountaineers. So like that's, like I'm very passionate about that. Like I love just being outside with my family, like walks and bikes and all that fun stuff.
I'm sure there's lots of nature where
Lots of
you're
nature.
at.
Yeah. I will say Michigan is a hard adjustment for me because it's so flat. and I hate the winter. I truly hate the winter.
Oh, in the winter, yeah.
But you know, what's really helped us as a family is like so much has changed in my life with my job the past 2 years especially. We were really trying hard, unless it's like inevitable, like to not like have like my kids like, okay, now you got to change schools. Now my wife's whole support system is gone. So her having all her like best friends and like family friends and these kids at school and blah blah.
Yeah.
Having that support system when I'm gone is humongous.
Yeah.
It's humongous. Like that way I'm not like dropping everybody off in a new city. See ya.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not doing that.
We
Like,
don't know
so
anyone around here.
we're trying really hard to keep that as our family goal, to like keep their lives as like
uprooted as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to sacrifice the fun. Part of the job, like we said, I gotta come to town sometimes. I tour anyway. So that is what it is. I don't mind eating up a little more travel to make their lives. It just, for now, it works for us.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. It's been amazing. Thank you
for having
this
me.
Conversation.
Yeah.
I was such a fan. Love what you're doing. Happy for you. Congratulations.
Really
all the stuff that you were able to accomplish. And he had so many good nuggets and lots of lessons for you guys out there if you're trying to do the same thing. But y'all make sure you go check out his music wherever you get your music if you haven't yet. New single released today.
Let's go.
New album coming.
Yeah, new album's coming.
The album's coming.
New album's obviously we've been releasing music like once a month this whole year.
Right.
So like it's part of a project, obviously, that we're trying to aim for the fall.
Okay.
You know, to get it out. We'll have more info on that when we lock it in. But
Stay tuned.
Album, shows, all those good things.
Love it. Yeah, catch him on the road, headlining tour.
Yeah, come see me.
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Thanks,
having me.
guys.